What's up, you guys? Dropping in today, I just finished up a run, and I was really thinking about this giant dream sequence I've been having for the last couple weeks. And while I was running, I was reviewing some notes and really looking over the last couple weeks, and it was really being brought together for me. I was having a lot of revelation from all these dreams being brought together and what they really mean. And I wanted to share some of this with you. As I'm sharing, I'm going to go through this. I'm not even going to talk about super deep in some of these dreams. I'm just going to highlight a lot of them because there's like a boat ton of them. It would take me an hour to talk about all of them. So I'm just going to highlight some of these head things and have you pick through them. Some of these really resonate with you, with how you're feeling right now going through life. And then as we work through these, there's going to be some things that just connect with you, I think. And then there's a lot of just like hope and love within this that I know is going to encourage you. I think it's going to resonate with you deeply. So in a lot of these dreams, I'm just showing how a lot of exposure is happening right now. And that's sometimes the scariest stuff that we're seeing. That's some of the stuff that makes us worry and stress out when we're watching news headlines and flipping through social media. And a lot of this stuff is we're viewing it as bad, but I'm seeing it in my dreams, and a lot of times it's being shown to me as exposure of what's really happening on the earth, on our planet. So I've had the dreams about I had this one where I was playing basketball. I have a lot of basketball dreams because it speaks to me really clearly. And I was playing 3-on-3, and this guy was on this breakaway, and he was an evil guy. And I knew I couldn't stop necessarily himself, but I could stop him from scoring. And so I ran down and I ripped down the rim off the backboard. I took it away so he couldn't even score. And so he started backpedaling, and while he was backpedaling, I was in his face, and he was really lipping off about how he still has the agenda out there, that the agenda is still out there, that I'm still going to put forth the agenda. And so this really shows me, again, it's speaking to this exposure part. I've had other dreams about really prominent pastors out there and how they were preaching, they became naked. And this really shows me that they were being exposed into things that maybe weren't accurate, that false teachings, not leading people in the correct way. I've even had dreams of like Jenga blocks being removed and falling. Prominent people, had one last night of some very prominent worldly figures that were coming out of the depths, out of these secret passageway from the deep, and in costumes, and we recognize them from their costumes, and they're being exposed to the real person that they were. And so all of these then leading to what I believe is to be some like splitting and shaking, things that maybe you're feeling like splitting and shaking on our earth, right? I had a vision this afternoon of a big chessboard, and the chess pieces were being moved around, and I heard the chess pieces are being moved. Well, we know what that means. We know how the chess pieces are being moved. I've even had Omaha. I talked about past dreams about being in Omaha. I've had this huge sequence of Omaha. I heard Peyton Manning screaming Omaha, Omaha at me one night here about a week ago, right? The night before the Super Bowl. And if we know what that means for Peyton Manning, right? When he called Omaha that last year of his NFL career, he was calling an audible, right? He was changing the play. It was plan B. And so are some plan Bs, there's some changing, some splittings happening. Seeing a lot of storms that are coming, right? But we're always protected in these storms, in these tornadoes, in these whirlwinds. And so in all of these storms and bad things happening, I'm always shown that we're protected within all of this. I've even seen some financial system just changes and some things that look different than what we know, that can look really scary when they happen, but are actually potentially what I see to be positive changes for us. Even some political party severances. I had a dream or vision 2 afternoons ago of some severed things within what we would view as a good political things that aren't necessarily the way that God created us to be sovereign and created us to run ourselves as the ecclesia. And so this really, these are a lot of things that we have put on pedestals as humans, that I had another vision of being on a pedestal and losing balance. And so all of these things we've placed on pedestals are losing balance and are starting to fall. And we pick up on these things oftentimes from a fear base, and we don't always need to, because things are falling into the place that they're supposed to fall, into the plan that God has already made for us. And so with all this, then I've also been shown some very prominent figures, some prominent athletes that have previously really shown their allegiance not to God. And I was shown here last week a very prominent athlete that's in the media turning his life over to God, and videos of that just going viral on YouTube and social media all over the world and making massive change. I also seen last night no names coming forward, people that maybe were crippled, people that were just not noticed, coming forward and leading. They were coming out of their caves and leading, and then people that were maybe popular, but they were ashamed of what they believed, coming up and assisting because they believed the same things and they had the calling of the same things, but they were ashamed of it in the past, and they were called forth and called forward with the people that were maybe crippled before. And so a lot of just amazing things being shown through all of that. I also had a dream this afternoon. I was laying with my daughter, and as I was laying with her, I saw the woman at the well, but it was also a signification of all of us. And I heard in that that she will not be shaken. She will not be bound by chains. And I came out of that vision. I was just like, man, I just wanted to cry because it was so powerful, because it was me laying with my daughter, and I knew that she was the next generation. She is the next generation, that she's not going to be shackled. She's not going to be shaken. She's not going to be bound by chains because of what is happening now, because of what we're doing when we're choosing to partner with God now, and the effect that's going to happen on the next generation when we're choosing to father that next generation. So I wanted to share this giant dream sequence very vaguely with you, but as some encouragement, because I know you're probably feeling and going through much of these same things and maybe don't know where to go or who to talk to. So I hope this serves you well and encourages you tonight. Hope you have a great rest of your day.